Alright, let's get it. That's how we coming.
Blade versus Buffy.
The Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer.
He's with
This finna be a
boomstick.
crazy duel right here. I never expected this one.
Armor and skills,
But it makes so much sense.
A death battle.
Death battle, baby.
They are known by many names: Revenant, Vortalok, Nosferatu.
Vampires. When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day, Blade.
Is that really his costume?
Hang on.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his
real
taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie
Very
craze.
true. The first Marvel GOAT in film, for real. He started everything. You know, he made just the audience in the world really take this superhero stuff seriously. It all started with Blade. Gotta give him props.
He is also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
Even
Straight aura.
Blade's birth was hardcore. Just as the young Eric
Ooh, this
Bruce's
100?
mother was in
Makes
labor,
sense.
her attending
20
doctor
years old?
turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank her blood right before she gave birth.
This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A Dampier.
Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into a blade that would rape the vampire plague for good.
Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air.
Just
He can keep
scrapping
up.
with Scar?
A blade that would
Yo,
rape the vampire
Blade is
plague
something
for
else,
good.
bro.
Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light speed
Hey,
optic
Mark,
blasts.
We gonna need that too. I know I said plenty of times about Wolverine versus the Hawk, but we gonna need that Blade too. That Blade, Wolverine, Blade, Hawk. Hey, Blade need to scrap with everybody. He need to just go up the totem pole and just aura farm and just just take over, bro. Midnight Suns, we need all that. We need all that.
His Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stott's castle exploding.
He can heal small wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersense.
Sheesh.
Also, his fangs can drain his victims of magical energies.
After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, Blade became a master martial artist. Ah yes, the Rufus from Street Fighter School of Kung Fu.
While the only martial art he's been stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered more. So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by Wesley Snipes.
By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima,
As you
kickboxing, Shotokan Karate, and Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's Batman.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there.
That's actually crazy, but there will be a whole show about Marvel Zombies, which is very interesting. Imagine if everybody turned into vampires. Marvel Vamps. I don't know if that happened before or not, but hey, that would be some heat for sure.
His surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal, a hole that could never be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every kind of weapon imaginable. He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt of his firepower, and he enjoys getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel, he's got a sword made out of adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium. a variant of the metal that is mass producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally, Blade has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons, and the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff he can pull out of his ass, like a Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kinda dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun.
Hey, however you can get this job done, I guess, like turning them into vamps so then they can be weakened by your anti-vamp weapons, so to say. Hey, it works.
Is a living firearm that hisses.
Arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun. It is a living firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had and fought his one-man war for almost 100 years.
He's battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blade's even bested the Spirit of Vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he occasionally allied with teams like the Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness: a thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
No,
It's not just Wolverine or the Hulk or other main characters that we know that have that berserker type mode they can get into. That's actually crazy. I never knew that. Makes sense though.
make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampirsk, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his way inside your body and blow you up from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires
Is that
be-
not Man Thing?
Boy Thing, let Marvel's
So it's not
vampires
Man Thing,
beware,
it's Boy
for
Thing.
should they indulge their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces
Let's
of
see what Buffy
darkness.
talking about. I
She
don't really know much
is
about
the
her, but-
Slayer.
For thousands of years,
We'll
a new
see.
Slayer would be granted incredible powers, and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy Ann Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slaying, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life. far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the valley, alright. Along with new Watcher Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and Xander. Buffy and her Scooby gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels. Tens of thousands of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy carries a variety of anti-vampire weaponry. There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in gorgon venom that can turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his
Laser
time,
rifle.
Buffy introduced his stupid ass to
Razor
the
blade.
20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling,
Flamethrower.
karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi, kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Buffy apparently thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie masters could learn a thing or two.
No kidding. Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge
She know how to
close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this 4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and, smash hard enough to tear a
Okay.
building.
And despite her lack of armor, she can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Cephrilion's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she's
So Slayer mode is probably like her flow state. She's like just in tune with all her abilities. Maybe it's similar to Blade and like when he goes berserk. So maybe you might see that. I don't really know much about Buffy, but seeing this here is like she's definitely no joke. So
5.
really-
Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks, like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world.
hey, ain't she from How I Met Your Mother? Yeah, she's from that show. I know.
Must be one of those metaphors.
Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed herself to save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities,
1981 to 2001. That's literally when I was born. Yeah, I probably should have never said that. There's gonna be a lot of unk comments now, but 2001 is when your boy was born, and that's kind of like a short life right there. Beloved sister, devoted friend, she saved the world a lot. Yeah, that's crazy. Dang, man. I'm pretty sure she comes back, right?
Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence! This absolutely crushed Buffy, and ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade against all things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight, defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses, and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf, and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the First Evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger baddies, Buffy clearly needed something to even the odds. The Slayer safe!
It's actually a Bardiche.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
Containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons, the scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Even Silas, the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The scythe is easily the most powerful tool in her arsenal. In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the First Evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from Earth. Because unless you want to get your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
You not even want to be a vampire. I remember when I was younger, all I wanted to do was be able to stay up all night, be a vampire, live forever, be strong and fly around and stuff and look cool. Nah, gang. You're just another hit on the list for these two. That's crazy, bro.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a live-action death battle!
Okay. Before this battle start, like I said, I don't know much about Buffy, but obviously she can throw them things. She like that for sure. And her lore is like pretty deep as far as like just how powerful she is, how versatile she is, and everything. So I think it's going to be some very good comp between these two. I just feel like maybe the weaponry between these two may be the benefactor. And at the same time, it's not like Buffy is like in her own way powerful or has super abilities like Blade does. That maybe helps him withstand anything that she may throw at him. I might be biased. I might be, not really taking into account what Buffy, who Buffy really is. But I'm gonna have to go Blade, man. I know it's gonna be a tough fight, but I gotta go Blade. But maybe, just maybe, the way that Buffy knows the in and outs of just all things vampire, and the fact that my boy is still a vamp. Maybe half vamp, but he's still a vamp. And that might be all she needs to get the job done. So, hey, let's see.
Oh.
No animation. We going live action with it. This finna be crazy, bro. Where they taking her? There you go, Buffy. What is she carrying? Oh no, they finna turn her. Go get her, Buffy. They finna turn her. And then you got all these vamps in the way too. He got that man though.
Long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were.
Alright, I'm not finna pause as much, but I know they finna fight. But at the same time, it would be fire to see them just team up together. Hey, I wouldn't be mad if this whole battle just turned into them killing all these vampires, bro.
Tonight,
That's enough pausing though.
back what was always ours.
You dare touch him?
Tonight, we feast.
Daywalker.
And she, that's just the start.
Yo. This would be crazy. There better not be no guitar. Easy work. Easy work. Headshot. Oh yeah, get off me. Use him as a shield. Human shield. Get off me. And it seems like she a little slow, but she get the job done. She like that. See? Why don't we just work together? Just work together. I remember that from the movie. Yo, even the DJ was a vamp. He didn't even care. Blade, he did more work. They already turned her, bro. How did it happen?
Wait! Shoot's just a kid!
Not anymore.
Okay. Buffy, pull out another weapon. Okay, weave. Get off me. Get off me. Give me that. Okay, my turn. I feel like he playing with it a little bit though. He playing with it. Oh yeah, Buffy, get off me. Okay, y'all want to oral form and just take off the jacket, okay? Okay, good hits.
Your damn mind.
Hold on. All right, this is my last pause for real, cause it's getting nasty. But ain't this dude from like TikTok or somewhere? Like he be doing the little. He got his own like sword thing he does, martial arts, something like that. I'm pretty sure I've seen, bro. Didn't he like cut like a grape or something in half? I swear I seen something of him doing something like that. It's crazy to see him on here though. That's fire. Okay. Come on, Buffy. Come on, bro. Sit her down. Okay. What's gonna happen? Oh wow. Buffy, come on now. You're not finna take it like that. Okay. Round 2.
So was some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Of course. Them shades mean something. Hold on. I'm sorry. I know this. I know I keep saying this. This is the last pause for real. The shades not broke. They just got hit off his face. I feel like she about to win this fight. If she does. Whoever wins this fight, you're gonna pick up the shades at the end in Oil Farm. Put them on and walk away. That's my theory at the end. Watch it happen. Okay. Good hit. Sheesh. Okay, she eat those though. She eating that.
Another sword.
I see you cut through adamantium.
I think you cut through anything, Blade. I'm pretty sure. Weave. Flash. Okay. He tagging that leg. Come on, Buffy, though. Come on. Ain't no way you finna lose like this. I don't know what's finna happen right now. Ain't no way. Oh, Lord. You can cut through anything. Golly, Blade. My boy. I told y'all. Oil Farm, take his shades and walk off. I told y'all. And on everything, I did not watch this. I promise y'all. I just knew it. You see it, how they was pinning back to the shades over and over, how they were getting kicked around but not broken. You could see that was finna happen. Whoever will win was gonna pick up the shades and do exactly that. Buffy, hey, she just did her thing, bro. She just did her thing. But how? Let's see how.
Blade tenured no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Makes sense.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First up, stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure,
Sheesh.
Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior
The
skill.
lore is
Even
why
then,
she
they
won.
both had weapons and abilities
Her
so
lore.
powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Meanwhile,
Wow.
Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly and just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Exactly.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse devouring god, I think you could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Exactly.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Really thought Blade had a chance, but Buffy sure put a damn fear on things.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Next,
Hey, respect to Buffy. I kind of feel like the lore of everything she's done, gave her the edge for sure. Of course, it just seems like Blade would take because he's Blade, bro. But the underdog was Buffy, but at the same time, it wasn't. But I told y'all that ending was gonna be how it was. I told y'all. But yeah, this was a fire death battle. Definitely more on the way. I'm trying to just get as much content as I can out to y'all this October. I know I'm kind of late to a lot of things, but we're gonna keep running it up. And we starting off with this one. Love y'all. See y'all on the next one.